Welcome to RVing in New England, the nation's only forum that puts you on stage with some of the biggest names in the RV industry. And now your hosts, John DiPietro and Bob Zagami.
Hey everybody, my name is John DiPietro, and this is the John DiPietro Show. If Zagami decides, I thought I was going to get the whole show to myself.
Don't believe a word he said.
All excited that this
He's
was
hallucinating. He thought he could do it all by himself.
Look at now, Bob. As I look at the scoreboard over here, I see Bill Sell, who's right near me, and I see Walter Swenson, who's right near you.
Yeah,
and Dante is there as well. And
Walter's about 3 hours from me, I think. How far are you from Naples, Walter?
But Walter is there now through, I think, March or April.
Yeah, he's not going back. Yeah.
And he made it down in 4 hours and 12 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool. Look at everybody's back. I mean, this is so cool. We took 1 week off for Thanksgiving. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud to announce that I used a turkey fryer for Thanksgiving, courtesy of a friend of mine. And my house is still here. I'm still here.
I was waiting to see the fire reports in case you.
All my fingers are here.
You couldn't figure it out.
And well, look at Maria is heading south in 12 days. Michelle is where's Michelle? Is she back here or is she out west?
She's in Arizona, taking care of
in Arizona. Okay.
Ah.
So we got to go. Yep, 3.5 hours to Naples.
3.5, yeah.
Exactly. So, Bob, there's so much to talk about. I mean, we missed a week. And you know what? I was just looking at some of the news going on in the industry. And by the way, when you see that logo, we've got some new programs. We've got some new features here with this StreamYard program. And Zagami is like a kid in a candy shop. He's got to play with all the new features. And one of them is an open mic. And we want to tell you folks that tonight, we want to let you be the star of the show.
Well,
I will condescend.
They obviously want to be because they jumped on early.
One night early. But, that's great. It's so great to see our fans back.
Frank Cates and Jim Roy. Jim Roy is, I hope, he's fully recovered from COVID now. And he's shown, I saw some picture on the site the other day. He's up to 5 people in the shop. They got 20 units in the driveway or in the parking lot of the big barn that he built to restore the Airstreams and the vintage trailers. He's got enough work up there for 2 or 3 years. And our independent mobile tech is on. Hello, Ryan. Glad to have you there.
Ryan is the star. Tell him, Bob, can you catch the RV Pro thing to show our audience?
I don't. I think I
Ryan's
took it down.
Starring performance.
Yeah, I think it took it down. Ryan was in the 40 by 40 class for RV
not
Pro.
40 by 40. 40 under 40.
40 under 40. What did I say? 40 by 40?
We're in the 80 under 80.
Yeah, right. So, Ryan, when you watch the program, is Amy and the kids watching it with you? Or Amy just watching it to learn more about the crazy industry we have here? Michelle says she's in Arizona, heading to Tucson with the RV and Mom in January. Gosh, miss being on the road after 6,200 miles in 2021. Yeah, she's becoming quite a road warrior with her Imagine.
That's great.
Grand Design trailer. So she's not afraid of anything out there.
Yeah, she's flying.
Very planned.
She's moving. But the thing I was saying before I interrupted myself.
Why did you all right, Jim's back 100%. But then he says, what else? Tim's going to catch it. John DiPietro. I'm trying to figure out what you said.
No, John DiPietro. Tim, if you're going to make comments, make them phonetically correct. John DiPietro, comma, really? Question mark, question mark. I think that's what you're trying to say. So anyway, Bob, the thing I was saying is this.
What's that?
When I so rudely interrupted myself, is I read some news today that they expect to ship not 450,000, not 470,000, not 500,000, not 525,000, but 600,000 units this year and next year too.
Yep.
And that is absolutely amazing when you figure 7 or 8 years ago, before 2008, so whatever that was, when they were hoping to get 4 to 450 up on the board, and now they're doing almost 50% more. Actually, 40% more than the prior year, which was a record-setting year. And when you think a year ago, you and I were coming back from the Winnebago dealer meetings in Palm Springs. Is that where it was? Yeah, Palm Springs.
That was 2020.
Yeah. And that's almost 2 years ago now. Closer to 2 years. Closer to 2 years. And we were saying, well, you know what? Maybe we'll drop 5 or 6% this year, but that's not too bad considering 2019 was a record year.
Well, I have to correct the record. When we're right, we pound our chest, and when we're wrong, we're man enough to admit it. But when they came out with that first forecast that said 600,000, I said there was no way in hell this industry was going to be able to push out 600,000 RVs this year with the shortage of parts, the demand, the consumer demand, the deliveries being slowed up to dealers, and yet they're going to do it. And they're going to do it again next year. That's how much of a pipeline these companies have, which is incredible.
Well, the interesting thing, and we've got some comments here we want to get to in just a moment. But the thing is this, I don't know whether they mean ship units or build them and then wait for the final parts, because, when we went by Grand Design, they had a yard full of stuff, and there were a couple other manufacturers that I went to in my September trip out to Elkhart that they were sold, but they couldn't finish them because they were either missing microwaves or they're missing refrigerators or missing appliances. But, we'll have to see if they put an asterisk next to that word shipped.
No, I think they're fully completed, because those are the wholesale shipments that go out to the dealers themselves.
So Jerry writes, when you said open mic, I thought we would be able to talk. Go ahead, Jerry. Tell us what's on your mind.
What would you like to talk about, Jerry? You stepped up to the plate.
Okay, Jerry. It'll take Jerry. Jerry only types with one finger at a time, so it's going to take him a little bit longer. Okay. Ed Hurlbut, what does he say here? Are the 80 under 80? Brian, no, you watched the program. Is Amy and the kid? That was Ed that was reading. Okay, we have here, Michelle says he's in Arizona, heading to Tucson with the RV and Mom. What is going on there? I don't know what that is.
Is Ed answering for Ryan?
I don't know what's going on. I don't know. I don't know.
It must have his mic on, and it must have transcribed some of the conversation.
Yeah. Oh, Tim. Thanks, Tim. Shortage is huge. Substitutions are common now. So it must be substitutions within the product, Tim. Is that what you mean? So instead of a certain kind of microwave, you're getting another kind of microwave, or instead of getting an induction cooktop, you're getting a propane cooktop? Is that what you mean by that?
You ordered a pink couch and you got a black one. So.
Yep.
So Lisa says, I missed something. Do all the RVs available mean the prices won't skyrocket or at least level out? I think you'll see them stabilize, and I think you'll see competitive sales. I've seen dealers with sales the last couple of months. I've posted them on the Facebook page. So I think you are going to get back into a situation where it'll work a little bit more in the consumer's favor, because they are delivering to the dealers' lots. Most of the dealers are reporting that they're getting deliveries every week now. So you're going to have better selection.
You know what? There was a transporter that passed me today. Nubo. What is that? Nubos?
There's New Wave, there's Nobos.
Nobos. Yeah.
Nobos.
Yeah. I had one truck pull, it was Classic Transport out of Elkhart that were going by me today. They had snow and ice all over them and dirt. They must have come across Pennsylvania or New York. But, talk about what Walter says here, because
let me get Maria's comment. She had a friend that ordered a trailer in January and just got it last month. She said when she went to pick hers up in Ohio, there were trailers that could not be delivered because catalytic converters were stolen out of them. That's something that pops up every year or two. Somebody gets the idea they can go steal, and they are expensive. There's no question they're expensive. And they hit an RV dealership and they'll steal it, and they'll hit 10 or 20 of them. And it's a pretty big hit on the.
That's what happened right here in Worcester, right at Fuller RV. The guys got about 8 of them one night, and they must have got scared off because they left 4 of them behind one of the buildings.
Yep. Product shot. Ryan says product shortage means you have to find a dealer in stock or come up with an alternative. If not, you're waiting months. I waited 3 months for awning material. And that's true, because that's having an impact all the way down the line. That's why when you bring them in for service to the dealerships, or an independent rep like Ryan that goes out to fix it in your backyard, only to find out you need certain parts, you could wait 2 or 3 months for those parts and have to do some alternative fixes or decide not to replace it at that time.
Yep. So I think you went by Walter.
Let me go back. I'll come back to you, John. Let me see.
Yeah. We know John's dates. What is it, 14 through 17?
Walter, I hate to sound pessimistic, but we saw tons of RVs on the lots last week driving down south. Also, in the auction lot in PA was full of RVs. First time we saw this many RVs in that lot in 3 years. Well, Walter's talking about an auction lot that's on 84. 84, right, John?
No, it's on 78.
78.
Just before Hershey.
Just before we hit Hershey. And I've been going to that show for over 10 years. And that's the most RVs that I've seen at that auction site in all that time, by a considerable measure, 10 times, 20 times what you would normally see on that site. And the ones that you're referring to going south, I assume you're probably talking about that stretch in Fredericksburg, Virginia.
Where there's a couple dealers.
South Carolina and North Carolina too, but in Fredericksburg, Virginia, where you've got Camping World and Campers Inn and McGovern's and the whole general RV. And you're right, they're starting to look like Route 4 and the Orlando Tampa stretch there, where you've got 4 or 5 mega dealers, and each of them have a tremendous amount of inventory. So yeah, there's a lot more product out there right now.
Yep. But a lot of those units that we see at auctions, they're older units for one reason or another.
Okay, Jerry says, crazy year for inspections. Half of my business was, I just bought this. Come tell me what's wrong with it. That's good. That's good for business, Jerry.
So Jerry, let's get this right. You are getting inspections on units that have already been purchased, as opposed to before the sale?
Well, I assume those are probably pre-owned units that somebody decided to buy it.
I bought it. Now what's wrong with it?
There are people that do inspections on new units.
Oh, hey, Jerry used to do a lot of those.
Yeah.
Inspections on new units. And then there were some dealerships that won't let them on site.
There's a lot in the country that are doing that. Yep. They don't want what they're doing. What I've seen some of the dealers do, if you want to have an inspector come in to inspect a brand new unit that you're going to buy, that's going to take up a bay because you have to do it inside. So they're charging the consumer for the bay, the use of the bay, because they cannot have a technician producing revenue in that same bay. So in addition to the inspection charge, there are dealers out there now who are charging people to rent a bay to bring the unit that they want to buy in so that the inspector can do the inspection.
Interesting. Yes, post-purchase inspections. Sellers won't wait for an inspection. Hey, Jerry, have you ever seen a circumstance where the person, the new buyer has been so anxious that they bought it, and then you found some issues with it where you would have told them, and I don't know whether you tell them to buy or not to buy, or whether you just tell them this is what is ailing with it. So tell us, Jerry.
Most inspectors won't make that call. They'll do the inspection and they'll tell them what the condition of the unit is,
right,
and leave that up to the person, so they don't have any liability. They can't come back after them and say, "Hey, you told me to buy this thing." Yeah. And there's more, especially if there's more things wrong that are uncovered afterwards.
Yeah. So, Jerry, have you seen a circumstance where you've inspected the unit after the purchase has been made, and it really was not a good idea to make that purchase? Let us know if you've seen that. Okay. In the meantime, Bob, let's talk about the Boston show, because we've only got like 6 weeks before that show starts. And there's the dates. I know somebody had asked for it before. 14 through 17. That's early.
It's a little bit, bit earlier this year.
About a week early.
15 to 20 type date range. But we'll open Friday night at 4. We have had some dealers request that we open at 12 noon. The problem is we share that building with the car show. So the staging area for the car show is the hall that we use for the RV show. So they bring them in through that hall before they bring them in. And sometimes it's a slow process. So until the automobile show is fully loaded and everything is inside, then they sweep our hall and the RVs move in into the RV show. So that could be a problem. I don't think you're going to see that change. I think it'll be 4:00 on Friday and opens up at 9:00 on Saturday and Sunday. And we have a tremendous seminar program for you this year. Also, 2 tracks this year. The technical track, we'll have Ryan doing some seminars. We got Ryan, Randy Murray from Pete's RV, and Chris Doherty, who will be doing 2 seminars each on Saturday and Sunday on technical issues for the consumer, because we have a lot of people who like to do their own thing. We have Mike Sokol coming back, and I put Mike on the consumer lifestyle side of the stage rather than the technical stuff, because although he talks about RV electricity, he's not teaching people how to fix it or diagnose it. He's teaching them the language of RV electricity, so they understand what happens at the pole, what happens with their grounding, stuff like that. So he's going to be on the lifestyle. Janine Pettit makes another return visit, and she's going to do 2 sessions this year. One was going to be her Factory to Fabulous, where she shows a lot of the girl camper conversions of units that they've purchased. And a new one that she's going to do is picking. Yes, Mr.
Okay.
DiPietro.
I'm going to stop you right now, because you're too modest to say it. But we've been to other shows throughout the country, and even in New England, where some of the speakers would talk about how to make chocolate chip cookies and how to do things like that in a microwave oven, which you can do anywhere. But these speakers that Bob mentioned, ladies and gentlemen, these are some of the tops in the country. These are world-class speakers. These are people that not only are they talking about something, they've actually done what they're talking about. And if you've never seen Mike perform, he actually puts on a show. He's like Mr. Wizard. And, same with Chris and same with Janine. These are people that...
Time out. John, you realize 90% of our audience doesn't even know who Mr. Wizard is. You and I know. Swenson might know.
Hold on. Now, Ryan might not know.
No, Ryan.
As I look at this audience, Mr. Zagami, I would say they do know. Folks, help me out here. Just write yes or no if you know who Mr. Wizard is. Okay. In the meantime, we got several other questions here. But these are the best speakers in the country on their particular topic.
See, Jerry Plant knows. He knows Bill Sell education at the Boston RV is so important, and afterwards. Thank you, Bill. Got David Gray on. Wow, David. Hello, PSA. Although not limited to toy hauler trailers or any brand, I recommend everyone inspect Lippert-made I-beam frames above the rear axle. After preparing my Heartland Cyclone for a welding shop, I discovered the I-beam problem is more extensive than first discovered in 2016. Both the curbside and roadside beams are cracked above the rear axle and measures 8 to 9 inches long. The roadside has 2 cracks. Additionally, I discovered cross-beam support members are broken, and it goes on and on and on. Now, David, are you doing inspections, or are you just doing that for because you have it on your unit, which looks like after your medical issues, you're back on the road and you're back camping again? Did you discover it, or did an inspector, and was it a new or a used unit? That's good information to know. And then Maria doesn't remember it. Of course, Walter.
Wait. I think some of these people are lying that they don't remember it too.
Okay, well, what do you want? A side conversation with Don, Walter? What are you doing there?
Walter, Don Herbert. Who's Don Herbert?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Walter even knows his name.
Don Herbert was the wizard.
Mr. Wizard. Yes.
Well, I'll tell you, Walter knows everything.
Walter, you're older than you really are.
He must be.
He's older than he is.
God bless him.
Look at Ryan.
Michelle says she sure wishes she could be.
I bet you will tell us.
Huh?
No,
Michelle
Bill
says she wants to be at the expo this year. It's going to be over the top. I think that's what she means. What did Ron say? I bet it was Keystone RV Company product. I don't know. Cyclone? I don't know if that's in the Forest River family or not. Eric, hello from NAS Key West.
Naval Air Station.
Oh, Naval Air Station, Key West. Oh.
Yeah. Hey, we got some, we got at least three Floridians on tonight.
Well, like my, Eric, my nephew is a park ranger at one of the parks on Key West, and I cannot remember the name of the park, but he actually lives in the park in a Grand Design Imagine travel trailer. He's been down there now for 2 or 3 years, and he's a microbiologist and studies all that stuff in the water, which I don't go near.
No, David Gray says it was discovered on the way back from a rally in Las Vegas.
Hey, Michelle, I got news for you. If you remember Mr. Ed, Mr. Wizard was on the other channel.
At the same time.
Yeah.
At the same time. So, Bob, let's give our audience. Now, we have our live audience is unquestionably one of the most intelligent audiences in the entire United States when it comes to RVs, because we're smart enough that we don't even have to plan a show. We know that we can just do a show based on the questions and comments that they make. But let's just, for right now, for educational purposes, let's give them 3 tips. 3 tips, 1, 2, 3, on how to get the most out of an RV show. What would be the first tip that you would say when you're going to an RV show? What's the number one thing that you need to do?
Go through the door and walk every aisle. Go up and down every aisle. Don't stop it. Don't stop at anybody. Go up and survey the landscape, because you're going to be overwhelmed with the amount of product and the number of people that are there, besides the dealers, the campgrounds, the accessories and supplies. Figure out how much time you're going to spend at the show and break it up, but go through the whole show. So if you're looking at camper vans, if you take your time waltzing through every aisle, stopping and looking at stuff that you know you're not going to buy, and all of a sudden it's 3 hours later, the kids are hungry and you have to leave the show, you might never see the product that you want. So walk up and down every aisle, survey it, check out who's there, make a note, and come back into the show. Come back and see what you got.
Yep. Yep. Can I give another tip?
Yeah.
If you're really serious about buying, folks, bring your registration with you that has your VIN number or other identifying item that will allow the dealership to not just give you a ballpark price, but to give you a very, very close to reality price. So if you have all that concept there, you can't, you don't know if it's a 25 QXLR. And I don't think anybody in the world can understand the way they number these units. I mean, usually the numbers are maybe the length of it and then RBR, rear bedroom, or RDR, rear dining, that type of thing. But bring all the paperwork that you have.
Well, you bring what you can
owner's
also
manual.
do before you come to the show is take pictures right by the door.
Yep.
The model number is right by the door. Take a picture of that. Take a picture of the shipment seal on the left front of most trailers. Tells you when it was made, what the serial number is. Bring your payoff figure for the bank. If you still have a loan outstanding on the unit, let them know who the bank is, what the payoff figure is, so that you can calculate all of that in, and take pictures of the inside and the outside. Because at the show, if they cannot see that stuff, the dealer is going to give you their best guess. They're going to go to the Kelley Blue Book or the NADA book and come up with a good ballpark figure on what that's worth on the wholesale market, and they're going to give you a price. Yours may be better than that, and prove it to them with pictures. Because if you don't, then when you go to finalize the deal at the dealership, and they're going to tell you right at the show that price is subject to change based on the condition of the unit that you're trading in. So that could go up or down. So make sure it's clean so that it goes up. Get them good pictures of the interior and the exterior. And if you cannot take good pictures, and everybody is not a photographer, but you should be able to look at them and say, this is not a good picture because it's dark or it's fuzzy. Find somebody that can. And the smartphones today, if you get a smartphone, they've got tremendous cameras.
Cameras.
We've had tremendous cameras for 200 years, and we still see a lot of bad pictures. So,
okay, I got a couple of them. that I just thought of. And Walter reminded me of one of them. Walter says, take a full day. Well, I totally agree. You need the equivalent of a full day, but sometimes if you spend the whole day in a building, it's kind of beat up. I mean, you're kind of beat up. One thing I might want to suggest that you do is, if it's not the last day of the show, go in the last couple hours of one day and then ask for a pass to come back the next day so you don't have to pay a separate admission. And there are many dealers that, many shows that the dealers have passes that if you're serious and want to come back the next day, they'll take you through. Like in many cases, if the show ends at 6 o'clock at night, get there at 4, do your walkthrough because the crowds are starting to thin out. And, then come back first thing the next morning. I would suggest that if you're ready to make a deal, don't try to make a deal on a Saturday at 2 o'clock because you're probably not going to get the proper attention that you need from the salespeople because they're running crazy. So if you want to try to put your deal together first thing in the morning or at the end of the day, you're going to get better quality service, or at least
better
more
attention. Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
Let me show one of the new features. Most of you know, I assume you're following our Facebook page, so we do sneak peeks, but we now have the ability to show slides right within the program. And all I have to do is have them down in the tray and then bring them up. And we can go, these are some of the ones that I've been posting the last week or so, and we'll be posting every day. And keep in mind that the ones that we post here, they are all subject to change. So Kenny might want to bring down the Solus camper van, but if somebody buys it the week before the show, they're going to substitute it with something else. They're not going to hold a sale item off and put it in the show. You're not going to want them You don't want to say, okay, I'll buy that one today, and they say, well, we have to use it in the show for 4 days. You're not going to do that. So we work with the dealers and the 10 by 10 display companies. They tell me what to do, and then I make up the slide for them.
Now go back one to that Solitude there.
Yep.
There we go. So country campers coming to Connecticut too. They're in Vermont. They're in New Hampshire. But the Solitude just announced that they have sold their 20. They've now sold 25,000 units of that one brand.
Yeah,
which is kind of amazing.
That press release came out today, and that was their very first unit that they formed the company with back in 2013.
Yep.
And they now have 6 brands, I think, on the market. But they came to market with a high-end luxury fifth wheel named the Solitude, and it's been a home run ever since they had it.
Yep.
So we'll put, again, there's Janine. That, by the way, is the new Janine, who's a slimmed down version. She's lost a lot of weight. So,
Bob, you can't say that.
Yes, I can. I can say anything I want. It's my show.
Yeah, that's true. As ladies and gentlemen, as he reminds me all the time that it's his show, except when he's gone.
Campers in, born in New England, 1966.
I get to own that show.
And 30 locations. And Jim Convoy. Jim posted something today, and this goes to show you why you want to talk to these people at the show. He just did a Thor Motor Coach Aria, brand new luxury diesel pusher.
Yeah.
The couple that bought it left the dealer showroom, brand new unit, right out of Elkhart, and took it directly to Plainville and said, we are not going to worry about it. The last thing we're going to worry about is a leaking roof, no matter what they say. So they went ahead and had the RV roof, Flex Armor roof, put on by Jim and Kurt.
Brand new.
They do brand new units. Yep. And then our friends up at Cold Springs RV, which usually is the first. Well, you see Seacoast first when you come down the aisle, but then you turn around the aisle, and then that whole aisle is Cold Springs RV, and of course they're a destination dealership in that they have a full body and paint shop, full RV service, an RV dealership, and a 5-star camping resort, all on their property up in Ware, New Hampshire. And they were just voted the gold winner as the best RV dealership in New Hampshire.
And you can tell them because their guys are all in red and they have the red carpets.
Yep. So we can add PowerPoints into our presentation. So maybe when we have guests on, they want to give us a little PowerPoint, we can walk through that also, and we can bring them up and drop them down.
Hey, Walter says John is not selling. Go to the Boston show on Friday and then ask for a pass. LOL. John is not selling. What do you mean by that, Walter? You know what? Our dealers, we will make it a point. If you're a serious buyer, our dealers can come to us and say, we need some passes for tomorrow for this family. And, because sometimes, you know what? People they're exhausted by spending that time. We got over 150 units, Bob, in Boston?
Close to 200.
Yeah. I mean, and that's a lot of stuff to look at. And I think many times when you go into an RV show, especially if you're a first-time buyer, you're more confused when you come out of that show than where you were when you went in, because you don't know the difference between a fifth wheel. You don't know the difference between a hybrid. You don't know the difference between, a bumper tow product, that type thing. So anyway.
Yeah, let's run down some of these. Let's jump in here with our people. So I'm going to go back to the bottom again. Walter said earlier, go to an RV show, and it should be go to the Boston RV. Right.
Here's why, Walter. Because we are our live audience, and we have thousands of other people that watch us all over the world, in fact. And you know what? They may not, be able to go to Boston. That's why we say, regardless of what show you go to, they're usually weekend shows. They usually include a Friday and a Saturday.
All right,
So,
we're going to have to speed through some of these because I don't want to ignore. It's already 7:37, so let's try to. Okay, Dante says, "Do you have a list of rigs dealers are bringing?" Yes, I do a list every year, not of particular units, but at least the brand and the model because they change and they replace so many. But and that'll be in the show program, but that'll also be on the site before the show. Jerry says Majors does a lot of SealTech test on new campers. SealTech is the machine that detects leaks. Michelle says mine is a 22 RBE, and I cannot figure out what it means.
It's probably 22 feet long.
I'm going to suggest that that's a 22 rear bedroom. Could be a rear bath, and it could be a rear bath with the E being the exit door in the back. So how good did I do there? Maria, we went home, went through our notes, and came back the next day. Yeah, if you're going to do that, stop and see one of the dealers that you like and tell them you want to come back, see if they got some passes for that. Or chase down John and I. We'll be at the show. What do we got there? Nothing? Oh, that was that one. Okay. Well,
Yeah, we went over that.
On selling. Oh, that's I already did that.
Yeah.
Estelle's here tonight.
Estelle is
walking
100% correct on that.
Absolutely. Not a complete guide, but a list of model number abbreviations is here. Okay, so go back up there and models. He's got a good model number. Thank you, Walter. And Eric says, I look at the seminars and for any needed accessories, 20 Winnebago Travado, 20 being 20 feet or 20, but he means the 2020
year.
Winnebago Travado.
2020.
Yep. I heard if you are a speaker at a seminar, you get a comp on a hotel room. Keep dreaming, Ryan. Keep dreaming. But it's a good thing, but we do not provide speakers with hotel rooms. I don't think we do. Maybe if you're a nationally known figure and very famous.
That's what he is now.
No, no, we've made him famous in New England. We just have to make him famous nationwide. Got to get out there. Frank Kate says, homework means have an idea of type of unit you most want first. And that benefits you. It benefits the dealer.
Everybody.
And it benefits the person in line behind you. If you spend time looking at things that you're not going to buy and you have a limited amount of time, then the dealer's not going to be excited and the person in line waiting to get into the unit's not going to be excited. So there are very few people, including John and I don't get through every unit on the show floor, and I'm there for 4 days. All right. I cannot see every unit and do it justice and to the dealers. So that's a very good point. Bill Sell, bonus tip number 4, use your phone's camera while doing that first walkthrough. Yep, good point. Photograph the dealer's name and then photograph you can take a whole picture of the unit and then take a close-up by the door of the model number. So if you happen to have to go home, you at least have the model number so you can check it out online at the time afterwards. Walter's full. It is best if you can spend a whole day at the show. Christmas presents for RVers. Is that okay? Walter wants to change that. Where did I have it? Here you go, Walter. Open mic. What would you like to talk about? What would you like to have for a present?
Yeah, we used that theme a little bit already, but let's see. Hey, here's a couple things.
Will you both be at the Tampa show this year? I will be at the Tampa show. I'll be flying back to Florida after the Boston show, and I probably will be there. Well, the industry days are the day after the Boston show closes, so I don't think I'm going to fly out until Monday night. Maybe I'll fly out Tuesday. So I'll miss the industry day, but I'll be there for consumer days. Right now, it looks like I will probably be on the show grounds probably Wednesday and Thursday, maybe Thursday and Friday. But just get a hold of me and let me know if you're down there. That was
No.
back the other one. Yeah.
We've got a loaded question here. Greg Barsamian asked a loaded question. Ryan, do you know that guy, Greg Barsamian? Will there be RV maintenance companies at the show? Well, we know one person that will
Yeah.
be.
TRIC, which is owned by TRIC Mobile RV Repair Service, will have a booth at the show. And Ryan is doing a couple of the technical seminars. So be sure
That
to
means
introduce
Greg
yourself.
may be there too because he works with Ryan.
Yeah, and check if you get mechanical type questions when you do go through the dealership booths. Ask if their service manager or a service representative is there. Many of our dealers in the show have their service managers there. Also, they're helping out the salespeople, but they're in case the customer comes up with a problem or a question on service. So there are a lot of service people there. You won't see a lot of independent mobile rep booths like Ryan's. But where Ryan's speaking, then he's going to have a booth also to talk to people that like what he says on the stage. Michelle says it's 25-foot front bedroom, rear bathroom. Yep, rear bathroom has exit window. So yeah, that's possible. Yep. Not that I'm looking for anything new. Loving the Riverstone. You will not see a Riverstone. I'm going to be very surprised, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say you will not see a Riverstone. It is a very unique floor plan, single level, fifth wheel. And that's kind of what we'd call a niche product right now. It's only been out about a year and a half. Dealers are going to bring their most popular products and products that are representative of what's on their dealer's lot. Because keep in mind, every dealer at the show will have an open house within a week or two after the show, maybe within 2-3 weeks. So as you're going around to the dealers, another piece of paper that you want to pick up is a card or a piece of paper that tells what the date is for their open house in case you find products in their display that you like, and you can go back and see them. You want to take that one, John? Okay, she's not. She's going to go to the Tampa show.
So she's going to Tampa.
How about, okay, we already hit that one.
Walter has a list here. It must be tons of gifts that you can buy.
Yeah.
Yep, planning on being the 19th.
Okay.
Hershey looked at the Tiffin Open Road. Yep, exactly. Look, folks, there's so much to learn. And let me tell you guys another thing. I don't mean tell by preach to you, but I want to just give you another suggestion. A lot of times when people have just bought an RV, the first thing they do is go to an RV show to kind of confirm their decision that they bought the right unit. Okay, that's fine. But another thing you want to do is take a look at the seminars that are being held there that day, because you don't have the added chore of trying to pick out an RV. You've already done that. You've already done that work earlier. And go to a seminar that maybe you're already familiar with the topic. And many times in a seminar, there might be one nugget of information that you get that can save you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. Or if it's on another travel destination or whatever the topic, listen to it. And the other thing I'd suggest that you do when you go to these seminars, sit up front, because depending upon where the show is, there's lots of other activity going on at the same time, which could be distracting. So sit up front.
I want to jump back in with Maria. She mentions that her Riverstone is not a single level unit. Okay, is that a travel trailer? I may have the wrong name, but Riverstone last year did bring out a full basement fifth wheel. So the entire basement is accessible through a myriad of storage doors around the unit. And then when you walk up into the unit, it's a little bit higher staircase to get up there, obviously, because it's a big level. But that level all the way through from the rear into the front master bedroom or the front living room above the hitch is all one level. So But that particular product you will not see at the show. Ron Ash, I picked up some great gifts at my RV guy in Greenville, Rhode Island.
Not familiar with
I'm
him.
not familiar with him, Ron, but if you can send me the information or post the information, I'll chase him down. Is that a retail store? Is it just a parts and accessory store? Or is it a mobile repair tech? That's good input and appreciate it. And then he did that when he went to the show, looked at Tiffin Open Road. Yep. Tom Zabrowski. Happy Thanksgiving, Tom. Great to have you with us tonight.
Front seats get the free gifts. You're right, Tom.
Yeah.
He's usually right because you know what? They'll give out a CD or some type of gift. Front rows get the free seats. Pretty good. I'll be giving away hats and T-shirts at the show. Okay.
Who's giving away hats and T-shirt?
Ryan.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Yep. Save one for Zagami, double XL.
Actually, I think I've lost weight since coming down here. I'm more active in Florida. So hats and shirts at the show. Good.
Yeah, that's great. Make sure they have your logo on them, Ryan. I've seen people give stuff out. It doesn't even say what the company is. Yeah. And Ryan, at your booth, make sure you get rid of the chairs. And
John,
stand out in front of the booth.
Yeah, do a quick commercial, John.
Yeah. Folks, here's what we always ask you to do. And actually, we haven't asked you in a few weeks, but we're going to ask you right now. If you like this show, like it. You know, there's a little button down below. You can like it and share it because there might be some other people that are considering getting into the RV lifestyle. And we want to give them all the tools that they need to make the proper decision. And the people that you share it with will be happy, and we'll be happy that you shared it as well. And we thank you for that. And now back to our regularly scheduled program.
Yeah, I want to go back to Bill Sell's comment. We kind of glossed over it with the cell phone. The cell phone can be your best friend at the show, and if you don't know how to use the camera on it, it's as good as some $1,000 cameras, depending on your smartphone.
Oh.
But use that to take pictures. Remember we said if you're going to come with a trade to bring your pictures of the exterior, the interior, and your bank information. If you're at the show and you're buying something and you're going to be looking at a lot of units, take the outside of the RV, take the nameplate right by the entrance door, take interior shots of what you like. Now, don't take 12 interior shots. Take one or two of the specific feature that you like. If it's a Murphy bed, if it's the bunk bed in the back for the kids, something that's going to trigger your memory and say, this is why you like that. And then if you don't buy at the show, go to the dealer open houses after the show is over, and then you'll have your notes with you. And also pick up the show program, because the show program will have ads from many of the dealers and the campgrounds and some of the vendors. That's something that you want to take home and use that to study also.
And also, don't take a picture of where the dog ate the couch. That will not be to your best financial advantage. Not that dogs ever do that. Hey, just out of curiosity, what's the most amount of damage a dog has ever done in your particular unit? Have any of you ever left a pet in the RV and went out for a couple hours, either to a restaurant or a mall or to a show or something like that, and came back? Let's lighten it up a little bit. And came back and you found some damage that you didn't think was possible. Tell us down below here. We've just got a few minutes left.
That's why I put our dogs in a crate when they're in the unit, or especially if we're leaving the unit. We don't take that chance, because one bad day. Michelle says my dogs ate I think you meant ate the table. She's got 3 lovely little Boston Terriers, but they can be a little frisky at times also. So, Michelle, great show. Was chatting with Bill Sell on a January project. Awesome reason for me to RV to Vegas in January. Absolutely. Absolutely. The Consumer Electronics Show is out in Vegas in January. Bill is very connected to it this year with Ray Verhulst, who is doing an electric bike display. If you want to throw information about it in the notes, Bill, but electric bikes are very popular with RVers these days, but now they've expanded their exhibit out there with test tracks and various manufacturers. So if you're going to go to the Consumer Electronics Show, there's a standalone pavilion for the e-bike presentations out there. So check that out. But yeah,
Bob, you want to tell our audience the experience that you had with an e-bike in Boston a few years ago? When did you hit the wall head on, or did you just fall and slide into it?
I didn't hit the wall, John. I was trying to show you how to drive it sideways over a concrete pad without getting hurt. Because if you noticed, I got up rather quickly, back on the bike, and
we brought you to the ER.
Fiddled my way back to where you and Bill Sell were.
Yeah, but I will tell our audience this: e-bikes are fantastic, and the thing is this: you say, "Oh, I'm too old to ride a bike." Look at the average person who's buying an e-bike is like over 55 years old, because they still allow you to get exercise without having to pedal up hills. And there's some really great models out there. I have a Pedego unit, Pedego. And interestingly, the president of that company, which is one of the largest companies in the United States, is a Worcester native, born right here in Worcester. So if you want to look for a good brand, hopefully Bill Sell will have that brand out there, because I know Bill knows Don as well. But look into e-bikes, because they are cool. And they also have models that fold up, like I have. They fold up and they can fit right in your RV, even if you have a Class C.
Good question from Lisa. Can you bring your own mattress into an RV, or are they made specifically for the unit, as long as size matches? Okay, here's the thing.
The answer is yes.
There are companies now making residential mattress sizes, but RV beds are oddball sizes. So the queens aren't queens, the kings aren't kings. They actually have RV size beds and RV size sheets. So that's something very good to look at. It's also one of the first things people replace when they buy a pre-owned unit. And the mattresses in many of these units are not, don't forget, then you're not buying a house. You're not going to sleep on this mattress for 10 years. You're going to sleep on it a few weekends a year and maybe a week's vacation. So they are not expensive mattresses. If you need a much better mattress, you can buy Sleep Number beds for RVs. Some of the high-end diesel pushes, high-end Class A units, they come with Sleep Number beds, or at least as an option. So it's something that you have to look into. You have to measure it. And most of the brochures that the manufacturers put out have the bed sizes there, and they will tell you what that is. And there are companies now. We had a sponsor for a while on our Camper Report show called Dormeo. It's an Italian company.
Yep, Dormeo.
Yeah, Dormeo. Yeah, and they're coming into the country now they sell direct sheets made for the RV size beds. So good quality sheets, good quality mattress pads for the RV beds. So that's another issue that you have there.
Yeah, Bob, some other comments here. Lisa said, Bob and John, thank you for your service. This is a great show. Oh, it's preparing RVers for the road ahead. And we just saw some comments come in about the animals. And what was it here? My dogs ate the table. I've seen some serious pet damage in campers. Cat scratching is worse on the furniture. Maria said, oh boy, probably 20 years ago, we had a puppy that chewed on the corner of a cabinet door. And Jerry said we had a customer that butt dialed his water pump and flooded his new fifth wheel. Well, that's not really a pet. We had a regular queen. We have a video of, Bill Sell. We have a video of Bob heading down a walkway, then disappearing for 30 seconds and coming back giggling.
Unscathed, I might add.
Yeah. A cat crawled up under the dash, says Tom Zabrowski, eating every wire disconnected to the tune of 2 days. 2 mechanics to put everything back, $820. We had an Olympic Queen mattress, is curves. I've been using my RV Sleep Number bed in my house. When I start traveling again, it will go back in the RV, said David Gray. Bob, that was a
Frank
fast.
says if you want to gift a new camper, give them safety stuff. X-Chock wheel stabilizer, pair, one handle, 28012. That must be somebody's part number.
Hey, Zagami, we got to start giving out tickets to the show.
Yeah, I just wrote to Carolyn today to see if they're available. We'll start the drawings for free tickets for the show next week. We should have those by next week. Yep.
Yeah. Now, the only thing we have to worry about is if Walter Swenson wins them, and then tries to sell them online at a discounted price. So these tickets are fraud proof, Walter. So don't try to do that because Walter wins everything.
Tom says front seats get the free gifts. He's talking about some of the seminars when they give stuff out. So I give you the reverse of that, Tom, is I never give anything out to the people in the first row. I go to the guys in the back row and the gals in the back row or in the middle of the staging area.
Oh, well.
All right.
Good night. Good night. Everybody, thank you so much for being back to us after taking our week off to enjoy our Thanksgiving with our families. Yeah. And we should say that some of our regular guests here, the Cavoses, the Coles, and Frank Palange, they went RVing last weekend. Wasn't that cold, but it was pretty chilly Saturday night, if I recall.
Mm.
But they're hardy RVers. They finally put theirs away.
That was it for the season. They closed them up after last weekend, that's for sure.
I had an emotional morning where I put mine away.
We're going to jingle our way out of here. We will see you next week. Thank you, everybody. And make plans now for the Boston show, January 14 to 17. Watch the show next week. We'll start giving away some free tickets.
Share it and like it.
Share it and like
that a great deal.
Right.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Have a great night.
This edition of RVing in New England was a presentation of the New England RV Dealers Association. Thanks for watching, and be sure to like us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram.